Really having trouble getting this one off the ground. I have tried so many times to start and I have forgotten how to podcast. Apparently, I only know how to podcast in 2023. So I'll take a deep breath. I'm in a great mood today. My kids are back to school after 2 weeks off for the holidays, and I've had a big smile on my face since 9 o'clock. I was happy to go to the grocery store this morning. I was like, oh, this is so nice. Yeah. Oh, hi, my name is Melissa. I am Stitches Be Slippin on Instagram, and this is the Stitches Be Slippin podcast, YouTube channel, etc. This is mainly a knitting podcast. I make a lot of things. I knit, I crochet. Just wait, we'll talk about her in a minute. Yeah, I make a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I have ADHD, and that causes me to get distracted a lot. Yeah, so I'm trying not to get distracted today. I did take my meds this morning. That was a bit of a struggle over the holidays because when I get out of routine, everything goes off the rails, just like my kids. But anyway, I am going to try and keep the life updates and stuff to the end because that worked really well last time I did that. I don't even remember when the last time I was. Oh, hey, did you guys enjoy my weekly podcast updates in December? Yeah, sorry about that. I said I didn't know if I was going to have the follow through. I didn't have the follow through. So, I mean, I put it out there. I tried. I just couldn't get it done. There was too much shit going on. I did do a day in the life video, a day in the life of me. Just getting up, going to work, or getting up, taking my kids to school, going to work. But I have a pretty fun job, so most of my day in the life video was of all the stuff we do at Polka Dot Creek Yarn, which is where I work as a yarn dyer in Airdrie, Alberta. Did I say my name? I think I did. I live in Calgary. I work in Airdrie, which is just outside of Calgary. But yeah, that video was fun to make. I don't know how Vlogmas people do it, honestly. Like, kudos to all of you out there who are making like all that content. Like that one day where I was making little video clips all day long was exhausting. And then editing it all together, like I think it was like a little 10-minute video or something, and there were like 45 videos that I had to edit together and add music to, and like, Anyway, kudos to all you Vlogmas people, because I don't know how you do it. You're amazing. I did enjoy watching some Vlogmas this year. I don't think I've ever really watched Vlogmas before, but I watched a few. I love Prof Pearl, of course, Nicole, she is wonderful. I watched Marissa Maid, which was really, really good. She's very, very funny. Her podcasts are like, if you took a peek inside my brain, it would look exactly like her podcast. She's just way funnier than I am, and so hers are a lot more entertaining. So if you haven't checked out Marissa Maid, please go check her out. I very much enjoyed her. She's also very honest about her mental health struggles and stuff, which is awesome. We all will need to be transparent and not pretend that our lives are perfect all the time. Yeah, so without further ado, I shall talk about what I'm wearing, because she's done, you guys. If you've been here for long enough, you know the saga that is this granny square cardigan. I will show you. She is done. She has button bands. She has cuffs. She has a ribbing on the bottom. She has cuffs. She's joined all together masterfully. Not by me. If you haven't been here long enough, settle in, because we're going on an adventure. No, I'll try to keep it short. Back in the summer-ish, late spring, summer, my friend Candace at work, the one who I was swearing at in a last episode or a few episodes ago. So sorry about that, Candace. She did think that was funny, so thankfully. Anyway, Candace and I both got it in our heads that we were going to make granny square cardigans. And I instantly was like, I need to beat her. Just because that's, not because it was Candace. If it was anyone else who had started at the same time as me, I would have wanted to beat them too. So nothing to do with Candace. I feel like Candace gets a bad rap. Candace is wonderful. She's very sweet and kind and funny and shy. She says she's shy, but she's not really. Anyway, off the track. Back on the track. I chose this pattern. It's called Ariana. It is by Amy Christoffers, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry. I had no trouble making, I made all the squares in like 2 days maybe. And then we started the process of joining all the squares, which didn't go well. I found the pattern instructions extremely confusing. Having said that, there are many projects on Ravelry that have been completed that nobody said anything about the pattern instructions. So I think it was just a matter of my brain not being on the same page as the pattern instructions. I could not wrap my head around the like going from a 2D schematic to the 3D, like, because you can't. Anyway, I tried. I joined them all together once. It did not resemble a cardigan. So then I think, what did I do? I put it in the bed corner. Then I pulled it out a few months later, ripped out all the joins, tried again, and once again, couldn't do it. Like the bottom where it's just like, you're just going in rows up was fine. But once you get to here, oh, don't look at that. Don't look at those ends sticking out. Anyway, it didn't work again. It was not going well. And I whined and complained about it on this podcast right here. And the lovely Sheila from Connecticut stepped up and said, send it to me and I will join it for you. She's a veteran crocheter. She's been crocheting for years and years and years. She's like, I'll put it together, no problem. So I sent her a package and she put it all together in like 2 days. She had no problem with the pattern instructions either. So apparently her brain works better than mine does. And she sent it back in like, I think it was like a couple weeks between me sending it to her and her sending it back. And anyway, I've talked about this a lot. So that was like in the, I don't know when it was that she sent it back, to be honest. Late summer, maybe early fall, I don't know. And then it sat on the back of a chair over there for a really long time because I couldn't even look at it still. I was still so traumatized by the whole experience. But yeah, she sent it back to me in the form of a cardigan, and it just needed for me to pick up stitches on the bottom for the hem and knit the ribbing, pick up stitches for the button band, do the cuffs. That was all that was required. So it sat on the back of my chair for months. And then just a few days ago, it was the beginning of January, and I've been doing the thing that knitters do in January. They take stock of their lives, and by lives, I mean knitting projects. And I went through all my knitting projects and was like, what whips do I have? What do I need to do? Is there anything close to being finished that I just need to finish? And this Ariana was just like, me, finish me. So I pulled her off the back of the chair and just got her done. It took like a day to do all the ribbing. So she's done. Pats on back. These ones are for Sheila. This one's for me, just for doing the ribbing. For doing all the easy parts. And yes, I can't really tell you much about the yarn because I made it all from like scraps and leftovers. Most of it is fingering weight held double. I can't tell you what crochet hook size I used. I don't know. I can tell you that for the ribbing, I used Cascade 220. which is a light worsted / DK weight. So most of this is kind of like a DK weight because it's mostly fingering held double. So I used this and it worked perfectly. This is Cascade 220 Superwash. It's 100% superwash wool. And this is the color, I don't know. Doesn't even have it on here. Oh, color 359. It's just a nice, like, kind of heathered gray. So, check. I don't have very many FOs to show you. I have been knitting a lot. Almost everything I was knitting in the past month or so was either gift knitting or sample knitting. We have a big show coming up in Airdrie, the Creekside Yarn Festival. So if you're local, please come to that. It's January. I'll put it down here. I think it's January 20th, but I don't have a new calendar up here, so I can't look at it. Yeah, I'll put it down there. It's a really fun festival that my boss Shelly and her mom Penny put on. Penny is Creek Gardens Crafts, and it's called the Creekside Yarn Festival. Anyway, we've been dyeing yarn, so much yarn for this festival. Every time we have this Creekside Yarn Festival, Shelly comes up with like a theme and we do all of this yarn under that theme, and that's kind of all the yarn that we bring, and then we leave the rest of the yarn at the shop. So if you would like to come and check out all of our yarn, you can come while you're either on the way to the festival. You can come to the shop, or you can go to the festival and then come to the shop. It's totally up to you. Or if you're not local, you can order online because we ship everywhere. I do work for Polka Dot Creek. I don't get paid to advertise, but you know, I love the yarn. Anyway, I got real sidetracked there. What was I even talking about? Oh, I was doing a lot of knitting over the holidays. Shelly wanted some samples done up in all of the new colorways that we're bringing to the Creekside Yarn Festival. So I made 2 pairs of mittens and I made 2 cowls. I'm not going to show them on here. I think we're going to podcast at work either next week or the week after, with to show all the colorways and everything that we're bringing. That podcast is called Easily Distracted by Yarn, and it is on the Polka Dot Creek Yarn YouTube channel. So you can go check that out if you haven't seen it before. I'm on 2 podcasts, y'all. Yeah, so I did a lot of Christmas knitting. I didn't mean to, but then I accidentally did. So I made a Santa hat for my son's teacher. I talked about that. I'll put a picture up here of what the finished item looked like. My son was in the winter concert this year at school. It kind of alternates grades which ones are in the winter concert. So he was in it this year. And so when we went to see that, I saw his teacher walk across the gym, and she was wearing the shawl that I had made her for Christmas last year. So that made me so happy. My older son had the same teacher last year, and I made her a storm shawl by Hohi Locatelli. And so that just made me so happy. She's so knit worthy. She loves everything I knit her. So yeah, so she had requested a Santa hat after my son had worn his to school. So I whipped one up for her. She loved it, put it on immediately, which was awesome. I have made over the past month 6 pairs of mittens. 2 of them were the sample ones for Shelly. I made a pair of mittens for Shelly for her birthday out of our New Year's Cheers to New Year's self-striping colorway from Polka Dot Creek. I made a pair of mittens for Candace, who I had for Secret Santa, and I made those out of the Wool Barons self-striping, like Christmas Advent self-striping. I'll put a picture up here of those. I do have a picture of those. It was a really good Advent this year, that one from Wool Baron. Good job, Louise. And what were the other ones that I made? How many is that? 2 samples, one for Shelly, one for Candace. I made a pair of DK weight mittens for my husband's coworker, because my husband was talking to him one day at work about something he wanted, and my husband said, well, just put it on your Christmas list. And he was like, what do you mean my Christmas list? I don't get presents for Christmas. And so I felt bad for him and made him a pair of mittens. And the 6th pair, I made a pair of mittens for my mom for Christmas. I had recently saw a pair of socks. I can't remember if Mari was making them or if she was just showing the pattern like she was going to make them. And now I can't remember what the pattern is called. I'll put the name of the pattern here. And as always, all the patterns and yarn dyers and everything will be in my show notes below. But Mari, who is the Colorado knitter, had showed a pair of socks that had like a quilt motif on it. And my mom is a big quilter and has been quilting for decades. And she's very knit worthy. I've made her lots of socks and shawls and she wears everything. And I thought it would be kind of a cute idea to put the quilt motif on the top of a mitten so that you could see it instead of it having on your feet. And then, yeah, the pattern was only available in Pom Pom magazine, and I didn't want to pay $30 for the magazine for the pattern, for one pattern. And I posted a picture of it on my Instagram stories, and my lovely friend Sheena was like, I'll chart that up for you, give me 2 minutes. And then she emailed it to me, so thank you, Sheena. She's the greatest. So yeah, I'll put a picture up here of the finished gloves, mittens, not gloves, that I made for my mom. I can't remember if we had been to the mountains for my husband's Christmas party. I think we had already been there. I think, because I showed the 2 balls of yarn that I was making those mittens with, but I couldn't show them because my mom watches this, and yeah. So here's a picture of the view from where I was knitting those mittens. Yeah, so I just used the Tin Can Knits World's Simplest Mittens pattern as like a template, and then just added in that colorwork motif on the top. And then I just did a 1x1 colorwork on the palm so that I wasn't having like to carry the float all the way around. So those worked out really well. I think they looked really cute. That yarn was yarn I showed in my last episode, but it was from Brian Dye Works, a sock set. I can't remember what the colors were called, but it's in my last episode. Go, and if you look in the show notes, Brian Dye Works, I'll put Brian, I'm going to talk about her a little bit later too, so her website will be down below. I also made 3 cowls over the holidays. 2 of them were samples for Shelly. I actually am going to sneak peek one of them in a video later in this video. Also talking about Mari, the Colorado knitter. In her last episode, she had her son, who was home from university, over as a special guest on her podcast, and she did a little pop quiz with him on knitting terminology, and I loved it. I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, I need to do that. So I asked my husband Dave if he would be willing to come and be a special guest on my podcast, and he thought that was funny, and so we did, and we filmed that yesterday. And I'm gonna put it in, I'll insert it here in a minute, but at the end of that, I hold up a cowl, and that is one of the samples that I made for Shelly. But I will talk about the yarn and the pattern, etc. in the podcast at work next week or the week after. But I did also make a cowl for my friend Nicole, who is the Prof Pearl on Instagram and Professor Pearl on YouTube. If you haven't checked her out, go check out her YouTube channel. She has a new one today I saw that I'm very excited to watch this afternoon. Yeah, I made her one for Christmas. I had some DK weight self-patterning, like they're meant for like self-striping socks, but it's not self-striping, more like the Regia or West Yorkshire spinners, where it's like it makes different patterns. And I didn't know how it was gonna work for this cowl. I used the Sonatine cowl pattern. I'll put the link down below. I can't remember the name of the designer, but it's a really, really, really quick, easy pattern to make. I'll put a picture up here of the one that I made for Nicole. So the light colored yarn is the self-patterning yarn, and then the lace section I just used two fingering weight minis held together to make that. So the cowl only uses, I think, like 40 grams of the main color and like 15 grams of the contrast color that you do the lace. So it's a really, really quick knit. Like I finished it in less than a day. It just is like hours, not very, very quick. So yeah, and Nicole, I hope she doesn't mind me doing this, but she sent me a picture as soon as she got it of her wearing it, I think at her daughter's swim team practice. So that's a picture of Nicole wearing it. That made me really, really happy. Yeah, so I think before I start talking about whips and acquisitions and stuff, I will give you a break from me talking. Well, I'll be talking to you in the next video, but yeah, so I did a video with my husband yesterday and I will put it in here now. I hope you enjoy our dynamic duo energy, and I'll be back in a minute. Are we ready, stage director?
Quit moving the camera.
Okay. Okay, everybody. This is Mr. Stitches Be Slippin'. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Dave. Hey, everybody.
This is where you look, so it doesn't look like you're...
Okay, over here?
Yeah, the little green light.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so Colorado Knitter had her son Gabe on recently and gave him a little pop quiz on knitting. And I thought it would be a fun idea to have Dave answer some questions too. He actually is fairly knowledgeable about knitting, so I think he's gonna kick Gabe's ass, to be honest. Is there anything you wanted to say first? What do you think about your wife being a super famous podcaster?
Super famous podcaster or how much you knit? Which one of those? There's a lot of talk of knitting. A lot of talk of knitting in this house, but it's nice. So
you're supportive.
I am supportive of all the knitting, of all things yarn.
Excellent answer.
Yeah. Do you want me to show my, or after?
It's up to you.
Because that's what you usually do, is show off your...
I do, yeah.
Right?
You got something to show?
This is my cowl that I made, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the yarn was or any of this, the size of
the yarn is Polka Dot Creek Classic DK Tweed in the color gray, I think.
Right?
This was the first thing you ever knit, right?
I think so. I made this one and one for my brother and then one for my cousin when he got married.
Yeah, so it's just a very simple pattern. It's called Symphony. It's free on a free pattern on Ravelry. DK, so you just go round and round. Tell me, do you remember what your favorite thing was? Your least favorite thing was about? If I remember correctly, you hated doing the ribbing.
Oh, the ribbing, yeah. And I tried to make it way smaller than it should have been.
Yeah.
And it would have been tiny. And then the sock that I've been working on for, socks that I've been working on for...
No, I wouldn't make that plural.
The sock I've been working on for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I can't even remember who this was for.
I think it was for yourself, was it not?
I don't know if I would have picked those colors, but I haven't picked this.
It's just some DK yarn that I had. Oh no, you dropped some stitches.
Yeah, we'll deal with that later.
Well, you have to show it.
Oh, sure.
So this is DK weight, because it's less stitches, easier. He's just gotten some 9-inch circulars on there. He's going round and round.
But I haven't touched this in like a year, maybe.
This is also Polka Dot Creek DK weight yarn in the colorway Heartbreaker.
Yeah. I don't know when I'll even do that again.
And this is just a bag that his wife gave him to put his sock in.
We couldn't find it. It was stuck under the couch.
We had to, dig for that.
We'll put it back there. So we
hasn't been worked on in a long time.
Don't have to think about that for a while. Okay, pop quiz, go ahead.
Okay. No peeking.
Okay.
Number 1, what is blocking?
Oh, that's when you're done making your piece and you soak it and put it down and try to stretch it out a little bit, make it bigger.
Stretch it out and make it better?
Make it bigger.
Oh.
Or make it fit or get it to shape, whatever.
It's really just so that you're like...
Hey, these questions are for me. That's my answer. Oh, are you? Okay.
Okay, well, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah.
That happens right here on the floor.
Right down there.
Mm.
Yeah. What is gauge?
That's sort of... What is gauge? That's, I guess everybody will have a different gauge when they knit, so it's like, how big and tight together your stitches are.
Yes, that is true.
Is-
There's also different gauges for different projects.
Oh, okay.
So then the designer, when they design a pattern, they say that in order for you to achieve all of these sizes, you have to achieve this gauge, because if your gauge is too small, then your project will be too small, etc. But you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
2 out of 2. What is a swatch?
What is a swatch? That was a watch from the 90s. A swatch? What? I don't really know what a swatch is.
Do you want to know why?
It's a sample, sort of a sample.
Because I don't do swatches.
Oh, okay.
That's why he doesn't
Okay.
know.
I would think it was like some sort of a sample or something.
Well, it is. You're supposed to knit a swatch big enough to see what your gauge is.
Oh, I think you have knitted a couple of those to see.
Maybe a few, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't do
okay.
very much of it.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean,
Yeah.
whip,
Work in progress.
of course. Yes. FO.
A finished object.
Mm-hmm.
Object?
What is a hoe?
Oh. I don't know. Hot. No, I don't know.
A hoe is a half finished object.
Oh.
So it's a half, like if you're making socks, if you ever finish that sock,
That'll
have
be.
a
I'll have a hoe.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
So, incentive. You can get yourself
I
a
can
hoe.
get a hoe.
What is frogging?
Frogging? I don't know what that is.
Frogging is like when you rip it out,
Oh.
and that's why it's called frogging, because you rip it, rip it,
Ribbit.
Mhm.
Oh. Is that the real term or is that the slang term for it? Is that what everybody calls it?
Well, I don't know. How do you determine a real term or a slang term?
I don't know.
It's just what knitters called. If you have to rip out your project, you're frogging it. What is tinking?
Why are these so hard? I don't know any of these. Tinking? I don't know.
Tinking.
I don't know what that is either.
Tinking is sort of like frogging, but you're only going back like
Oh,
maybe
as far
a
as
row
where you
or a
messed-
few
to
stitches
fix where
or
you messed
whatever.
up or something like that?
And it's called tinking. Do you want to know why?
I guess
'Cause
for the
it's
viewers.
Because it's knit spelled backwards.
Oh, okay.
Magic loop.
Oh, you use that to knit your socks. It's a faster way to knit your socks, right? It's like, isn't it when your
necessarily
needles are
faster.
together? Sort of.
When my needles are together.
Well, you knit on a magic loop. I remember you when you're trying magic loop. It's a faster way to knit socks.
It's not necessarily faster. It's just a different way.
A different way, okay.
So when your socks are on short circular, which means there's not very much space in between the needles on the cable, and a magic loop has a really long cable. So you put it on the needles and then you pull your.
Oh.
It just has
Just a
long
longer.
cables.
Okay.
Mhm.
I thought you were going to set me up for success here.
Well, you did really well.
Oh, well.
There's only one more that you're not going to know, probably. DPNs.
DPNs.
Yeah. You're not going to know it, I don't think.
Detailed project notes.
Oh, that's a really
Oh,
good
it's not
guess.
it? Oh, I thought I almost had it.
No, that was a really good guess.
What is it?
Double pointed needles.
Oh, okay.
So they have like points on each end. I don't use those, so that's probably why you don't. I call them the devil's
I'm going to
needles.
start making detailed project notes though at work, so I can
Okay.
say DPN.
Okay. We can do this about geology if you want.
No. 'Cause- no.
Okay, last one is fingering.
Oh, that's the weight of like finger weight yarn. Right? You set me up for an easy one.
Yeah, that was an
Okay.
easy one.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if somebody didn't know anything about knitting, they would think that was
Something else? Yeah.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
Is fingering weight heavier or lighter?
Fingering weight is lighter?
Yes.
Whew, yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, those are all the pop quiz
I think
ones.
I got.
I don't know how many. You got blocking, gauge, swatch, whip, FO.
I got.
Probably about half.
Yeah, that's not bad. How? What about the other kid?
Gabe didn't do very well.
No. Okay. Gabe, brutal.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
No.
Any future knitting plans?
I want to use the sock machine eventually to make some more socks, but then I have to do heels and toes, which
you can learn to do the heels and toes on the machine, but it's very tricky, and I think probably beyond your patience level.
What I would end up doing is just have like 50 tubes, and they would just sit here and never get finished. So
yeah, that's what I have in that drawer right there.
So maybe more cowls, because it's sort of relaxing and easy to do. Just go round and round.
Oh, and these I made these for Shelly for work, and they're just garter stitch back and forth, and he was looking at this one and he was like, oh, I could do that, but like just keep doing garter stitch here instead of the lace. He's never knit flat before, so that'll be a new fun thing for him. So maybe we'll get you going on one of those. Maybe.
It looks like something for Stampede.
Yeah,
bandana.
You would wear wool to a Stampede. 30 degrees.
Yeah, it would be. Okay.
Thanks for joining us today, Dave.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little comedic episode. I am going to start talking about whips now. I did start going through my whips and whatever in the beginning of January, thinking I had a million whips laying around and it was stressing me out, and I didn't actually have that many. Hold the phone. I forgot the biggest FO of all time. How did I forget that? Oh man. I finished my yarn ink advent. How did I forget that? Okay, this is what she's been living in. She's full. This is a Harris Tweed bag from Sew Shannon YYC, SEW Shannon YYC on Instagram. She has an Etsy shop I will list below. She is one of the Harris Tweed stockists. I don't know if there's any other ones in Calgary, probably, but she's one of them. But just take a look at the inside of this bag. Holy, oh, I love it. I love it so much. Okay, this bitch hasn't been blocked yet because I'm scared to block it, honestly. She's not technically finished because I didn't pick up the stitches all the way along the side and put the garter border on. Partly because I don't want to, and partly because I don't think it's gonna make a difference. I actually kind of like it the way it is without a black border around it. So I'm not gonna, it's done. She's done. I finished this while we were at the cabin over the holidays, but I'll talk about that later. If you love me and are invested in me as a person and are not just using me for my knitting, you can find out all about my life updates later. Yeah. I'm not gonna name all the names of all the colorways because there's 24 of them, and my kids are gonna be out of school in 4 hours. So, yes. The pattern is called Waves of Fade, and the pattern designer is Lisa Overby, but I can't remember if they have it listed as Yarn Twisters in Ravelry or not. I'll put the link to the pattern down below. I believe it is available for purchase now to the general public. It was only available to the people who had bought the Yarn Ink Advents from Alicia, who is Yarn Ink. For the month of December, it was only available to us. Okay, I don't even know how I'm gonna show you this. Okay, I'll just start. Okay, so here we go. This is day one right here. And like I said, she hasn't been blocked yet, but holding her up like this and stretching her out will give a good idea. So the pattern is really, really nice. It's just some stockinette stitch. How can I stand up? There's stockinette stitch, then there's some half fisherman's red, then there's some stockinette stitch with some decreases in here, so it makes a little triangle. and then some half fisherman's rib, and then some stockinette stitch. So it was not difficult, and it's just basically a 2-row repeat the whole way through until you were changing. There was 1 row when you're changing colors that you had to kind of reset your markers, but other than that, very, very easy. I had it memorized. I didn't have to look at the pattern after the first maybe couple colors. Okay, so we're starting here, and stand up to make this. So we're moving into some purples, moving into some, I messed up on this color, but we don't need to talk about it. And then from purple, we moved into some blues. And then from the blues, we moved into like black, and then faded out into grays. So I don't know how I'm gonna wear this. It's very long. I guess if I am wearing like an overcoat or something, I can wear it as like a, I can wear it over my shoulders. I can probably just, I don't know. We'll figure that out later. This was really just for the joy of knitting with a beautiful fade gradient, knitting a gorgeous pattern. It was really just like for the joy of knitting in December. That's one of my goals for for knitting for January, is to actually just, I mean, it's good to knit for the joy of knitting, and it's a good way to spend my time. It's good for my brain. It's good for my mental health and my well-being. But I have a lot of knitted items that I don't use or don't wear just because they don't fit into my life, really. Like, that is beautiful. That is stunning. But I can't picture myself wearing or using it. Maybe if I'm sitting in my knitting chair, I might wrap it around my shoulders or something. I don't know. But yeah, my goal for January is to make practical things that I'm actually going to use and wear repeatedly. So that's my goal. We'll see. I did not start a temperature anything this year. If we learned anything from last year, that lasted about 2 weeks, and then I was like, no. I actually got the pattern update in December for the very end of that temperature snake that I was crocheting, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Okay, so now I have actually showed you all of my FOs. I can't believe I forgot to show that. Okay. Oh, also, oh man, I'm full of it today. I have good news for everyone out there who really, really, really likes that Advent. I don't know if she actually put up a pre-order if you wanted to order that Advent, but that was a few days ago, and I don't know if it's still up yet. You can go check out Yarn Inc. I'll put a link below for her website. But look at this little bag. This was also from So Shannon. I got this a little while ago. It's just it's a version of her doctor bag that has the wires in it that stays open, but it's just a little one. And rainbow, of course. But look what's in here. All my leftovers from my Advent. There's about 5 grams, I would say, left of every color. And I'm not ever gonna use them again. I don't wanna ever look at them again. Yes, they're beautiful. I don't want them. So I thought maybe some of you out there might be creative and have some ideas of something to do with 5 grams of 24 colors. So how about we do another giveaway? I like giving stuff away. Makes me feel like Oprah. So yeah, I will send you, there's a catch. There's only 23 colors in here, because remember when I said I messed up on that one color? I accidentally added a whole bunch of rows in and used up that whole mini. So that color isn't in there, but all the rest of them are. Yeah, just the minis, not the main skein, because I still have like a full main still have a full skein of that main color, so I will keep that in my stash for something else. It's a great neutral color, just that black charcoal or whatever. So maybe put a comment down below if you would like to win my Advent leftovers, and I will send them to you in this bag. So that's a little extra treat. Comment below and tell me, I don't know, not necessarily what you would make, because that puts too much pressure on. I think that put too much pressure on last time with my other yarning Advent I gave away. Yeah, just maybe tell me something fun you did over the holidays, or something, I don't know, I'm not very good at this part of it. Saying nice things about me is always good. That's what I just default to, saying nice things about me. Or just tell me something fun you did, or if you didn't do anything at all over the holidays and that was fantastic. Whatever floats your boat. Just put a comment down below and I will draw next episode. And guess what, you guys? Next episode is a 1-year anniversary from when I started this little podcast. So it's my birthday, sort of. Yeah, January 25th was my very first episode, when I just decided one day that I was going to make a podcast, and I sat down and recorded it, not having a clue what I was doing. And I still don't have a clue what I'm doing, but you guys seem to enjoy it. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I am going a little crazy here, so let's get back to my whips. After I finished my Advent while we were at the cabin, I took some yarn with me because I knew I was going to finish it. And I took some yarn with me to cast on something that's very easy to make, which for me is the clove sweater. If you've been here for a while, you know I have made 2 clove sweaters already, and this is going to be my 3rd. I won some yarn at a silent auction recently where they were raising money for Prairie Spirit alpacas, which is a farm that recently, in the fall last year, they had a big fire, and very devastating fire, lost their barn, lost some animals, etc., etc. And we had a big fundraiser, and there was a silent auction, and I won some yarn. That's what happened. Okay, so this yarn is Queensland Collection Kathmandu DK100. It is a blend of merino, silk, and cashmere. So it's soft AF. I haven't said fuck yet. Oh, there you go. It is the color 2, Graphite. I bid on this because it was DK weight, it was gray, it was soft. I thought it would make a perfect staple, practical, everyday, wear it everyday sweater. So it's not a very exciting whip to show because it's just a gray sweater, but I cast it on at the cabin, and this is how much I've gotten so far. I'm just working on my body rounds. Yes, Clove Sweater by Rachel Kurihara. I'll put it down in my notes below. It seems to be in my notes below every episode because I am always working on a clove sweater, it seems like. I don't know if any of you watch the Knit California podcast or follow her on Instagram. I don't think I've ever actually watched one of her podcasts. I should do that because I enjoy her Instagram feed. But she did a thing recently where last year she kept track of when she wore all her knits, and then she made a chart. She really likes making charts. She likes data. And her clove sweater that she made, like everything else was on her chart kind of like this, and her clove sweater was like up there like that. And that is exactly my experience. I wear my 2 clove sweaters that I've made more than anything else that I've ever knit. So anyway, long story short, I love the clove sweater. And so I just have to finish my body rounds. I'll probably pick up and do the collar first and then do the sleeves. Who knows? Sleeves are not my fave. And this project is living in one of the most beautiful project bags I own. This was a gift from my very generous, lovely, kind boss, Shelly. She gave all of us Mishnok, I think is how you pronounce it. I'll put the maker's name up here. She makes these unbelievably beautiful bags with like rifle paper fabric. I don't know if they're all rifle paper, but this one is. Hair's tweed, and they're just gorgeous. These leather straps, and then the inside is rifle paper, and there's pockets all the way around. It's really well interfaced, so she stands up on her own, and you can, oh, it's amazing. So Shelly gave all of us at work one of these for Christmas. Like, oh, we all had to open them at the same time at the Christmas party because they was all basically the same thing, and it was just like a collective shriek when we all opened it. We were like, ah! Sorry, that was a really terrible noise. And then hanging off here is another cute little present I got at the Polka Dot Creek Christmas party. My friend Krista, who's my co-worker, made these little embroidery things for everyone, and mine is a little heart, and I put it on here because it matches perfectly. Isn't that cute? Thank you, Krista. Okay, so that was my clothes sweater. A while ago, I can't even remember if I talked about this on the podcast before. Yes, I did, because I talked about putting it on circulars. Okay, this project bag is by Two Sticks and You, who is unfortunately no longer with us. I put in here my Musselburgh hat that I'm working on. Musselburgh, yeah. I say it both ways now, for the people who don't care and for the people who really, really do care, because there are people who really do. The Musselburgh pattern is by Isolde Teague. I will put the link down below. It is probably one of the, if not the most popular hat pattern on Ravelry, I would say, because it's super, super easy. You just start at the top. You don't have to gauge swatch. When you start at the top and you're doing your increases, once you get far enough to measure 1 inch, then you measure that, and she has a chart in the pattern for however many stitches you are getting per inch. Then she tells you how many stitches to get to, and off you go. So you're swatching as you go, which is amazing, because if you learned anything from my video from a little while ago, I don't swatch. I had never made a Musselburgh before. I tried once before, and I really struggled with having the stitches to spread apart on the needles. And I tried Magic Loop, and I didn't like it on Magic Loop. And when I started this one, I was doing it on Magic Loop because of the decreases, and then I decided I was going to put it on 2 16-inch circulars and see how I like that. And that was good. That was better for sure. But then I decided, well, why don't I just try and put it back on just 1 16-inch circular and see how I like it? Because that was a few years ago that I tried that, and I actually don't mind it now. So I've made a lot of progress just because I've got it on 1 16-inch circular, and I can just go round and round. I've been practicing knitting and not looking. I took the boys to a movie a few days ago, and I took this with me, and I was practicing watching the movie and knitting at the same time, and so it's been going really well. This is, I don't know how many inches, but I watch the We Share Needles podcast a lot, which is Maddie and Kristen, and they make a lot of Musselburghs, and they always say that they just knit until they've only got like 10 grams left, and then they do the decreases, and that way you use up your whole skein of yarn. So I've got, I don't know, I need to weigh it, probably about 30-ish grams left. So I've got a little ways to go, and then you do the decreases. And then, I mean, I'm sure you've seen this before because it's the most popular hat on the face of the earth for knitters. But you just make a big tube. And once you get to the end, you do decreases that look like this. And then you just fold it up inside each other, and it's a double layered brim, or it's a double layered hat. And then the brim is like quadruple layered, sort of, if you get my drift. Anyway, this color, this yarn, is Polka Dot Creek fingering weight yarn. And this is the special colorway that we made when we were having our Pink Friday sale last year on Black Friday. We called it Pink Friday. So this was the special colorway that she did for that year, for last year. And she gave me this for my birthday this year, I think, yeah. And I knew I wanted it to be something special. I wear toques a lot in the winter, and this is going to be like the perfect toque for me. I'm so glad that I kind of persevered and kept trying it on the 16-inch circular, because I don't think I would have gotten it done any other way. Thank you for people in the comments encouraging me to go back and try it again on the 16-inch circular, because I was resisting and it actually worked out well. Here's another toque that I've been wearing a lot recently that, how do I think I've shown this on the podcast before, but this is, oh shit. I think it's the Manhattan hat. It's a Tori Yu pattern. I'll put the name of the pattern here. I think it's she has multiple versions of it. This is the bulky version. So I used worsted weight and mohair held together, and I love it. I wear it all the time. Love, love, love. I don't remember what the yarn was, so don't ask. Okay, and then my other whip that has been, where did I put it? Oh, it's in here. This is another acquisition I got at Christmas. I'm doing all my acquisitions kind of throughout because I'm working with all of them. My mom made me this bag for Christmas. Isn't it amazing? And all the yarn balls. It's got this big handle on it. She is a big bag. You can fit a lot of yarn in here. I love it so much. Thanks, Mom. Okay, so this is a project. This is a whip that has been in deep hibernation. Like at least 2 years it's been sitting and crying itself to sleep every night in a drawer because I just put it away. So this is a beautiful pattern. It's called Pink Fizz by Andrea Mowry. This is beautiful yarn. This is Polka Dot Creek yarn. It is fingering weight and mohair held together, which is my jam. And everything was going great. Here's the front, beautiful, gorgeous. The colorway is Bee's Knees. Fingering weight and mohair both are Bee's Knees held together. Everything was going great, and I separated, and then my problem is I was not alternating skeins. I was just like, whee, this is fun, this is great. Then I ran out of that skein, and I had 3 skeins of everything. So then I had 2 other skeins, and those 2 other skeins, one of them is very different from the rest. It has a lot of pink in it, which is gorgeous. But here's, I don't even know if you can see. I don't know if you can, but yeah, a little bit. You can see like right there is where I started alternating in the one with lots of pink in it. And it doesn't look that bad here, but I'm really struggling with it. I think I'm gonna take it to work with me. This is the back, so my hair would be covering it for the most part. And I think I probably have enough. I don't know, now I'm just thinking out loud, being annoying. So this is the kind of regular one, and this is the one with lots of pink in it. They look the same, but it's amazing when you start knitting with it how different they look. I'm gonna take it to work and see what they think. This is why it's been in hibernation for so long, because I'm like, I don't want to rip this out. This is mohair and fingering. I've considered just throwing it out because I don't want to rip out this entire body of mohair. It's terrible. It doesn't look that bad here, but like, I don't know. Anyway, what I was saying is I think I have enough of the other one that looks like the body, like the rest of it down here. Those two are pretty much the same. I have enough of that, I think, to do like the front from the armpits up, and then I can, I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know why you guys have just never seen this whip. And it's a gorgeous pattern. The lace is beautiful. And it's, I really, Sheila, how do you feel about ripping back mohair? I'm just kidding. This is not on the table. I am not asking you to do that. I don't know. If you have any suggestions or comments or tips or what have you, please leave them below. Don't tell me to put it in the freezer, because I don't know. Lots of people think that putting it in the freezer helps. It doesn't help me. Yeah. So yeah, I am going to talk a little bit about acquisitions, and then I'll talk about my life. I've showed you a lot of my acquisitions already. That gorgeous bag that my mom made me. Well, maybe that was the only one. No, I showed the bag that Shelly gave me and the little embroidery thing that Krista gave me. Our Polka Dot Creek Christmas party is always very fun. Shelly and Penny just shower us with gifts and stuff, so it's always really fun. Everyone exchanges presents. We have a Secret Santa. It's a great time. Here are some of the stuff that I got from, this was from Penny, who's Creek Gardens Crafts. It's a little Grinch bag, and it came with some little Grinch stitch markers, progress keepers, whatever you call it. There was one other one, but I don't know where I put it. I think it's on my table somewhere. And then she also made these little pouches. This is like that rainbow cork that I love. And she gave us all some awesome Ocean Loops stitch markers. Oh, that reminds me, I have my whole Ocean Loops advent that I can show you. Under my acquisitions, maybe. Also, I'm talking about Marty a lot today. Marty from the Colorado Knitter had this bag from Beautiful Sister. Sister is with a Y. They sent this to her to give away, I think. Or she ordered one and they sent her. Anyway, she was giving this away. And I entered and I won! Look at how beautiful this is. It's so shiny. And it has like things in here where you like, so you can walk and knit, you can carry it, you can walk and knit. Really, really gorgeous, really beautiful quality. So thank you, Mari, for sending that to me. Thank you. That's the Beautiful Sister. And what else did I get? Oh, Penny gave us those. Penny also gave us Barbie scrunchies with, yes, I love it so much. I wear it all the time. And what else have I got? My mom also made me an ornament for Christmas. She sends my kids an ornament for the tree every year at Christmas time. She usually, almost always, cross stitches them. She says her plan is to make them an ornament for the tree every year, and then when they eventually move out and have their own Christmas tree, then they can take all their ornaments with them and then they don't have to go buy new ornaments. So I thought that's kind of nice. Anyway, this one is sort of an ornament. If I string a little loop through it, I could hang it on the tree, but I like having it in my knitting room. She made me this. Isn't it adorable? She's a knitter. She's got her bag. She's got her knitting. She's carrying it with her everywhere she goes, just like I do. She wrote me a little note. She said, I made this for you for your knitting room, but if you want it as a Christmas ornament, you can do that instead. The pattern is called Mrs. Cat Loves Knitting. Oh, she's so cute. There's her bag. I love her. She's so cute. She lives in my knitting room because I don't want her put away for 11 months out of the year. So she just lives right beside my knitting chair where I can see her all the time. I grabbed a bunch of the ornaments that she's made for my kids, just so that you could see. This was an early one. It's a Santa with skating Santa, because my kids play hockey. I don't know if you can see it's on sparkly Aida cloth. And one of the earlier ones she made too were these little felt mittens that she applique, was it applique on? Stitched on all these cute little things. And she's been going hard on the cross stitch ever since, which is awesome. This was one of the ones from this year. This little polar bear and some Christmas trees. One year she did them in like little pouches. This was a Santa. And there was one year she posted them on this cardboard. Feliz Navidad. My kids are in Spanish school. And oh, this was another one from that year, I think. Little snowman. This was another one like that. The little black cat for Sophie, who we lost this year. We've got some Santas. This one is a Santa playing hockey. I don't know why he's playing hockey with figure skates, but we'll just leave it. And this is a Santa who has knitting needles, is knitting mittens. This one was for my kids, but it was really for me. I'll have to arm wrestle them when they're trying to leave my house. I'll be like, leave my house, move out, but leave me the knitting Santa. Oh my God, I just saw another FO that I forgot. What the hell is happening here today? Sorry about that, but we're going back to FOs because I have to show you the amazing Christmas vest I made for myself. Look at it. Oh my God. It's so cute. I still haven't got a picture of myself wearing it. I didn't get a picture. I wore this for 2 Christmases, 2 days in a row. Didn't get any pictures, but it's amazing. This is the pattern is the Stockholm Slipover, I think, by Petite Knit. As I've said before, I try not to make a lot of Petite Knit patterns, but this is a pattern I've had for a really long time, so I just used it again. This yarn is fingering weight and mohair held together. I don't know if you can, oh, there you can see the halo a little bit there. This was a little bit of an experiment, kind of one-off, but it is very close to our russet colorway. We were trying to make, it's a long story, we were trying to make a different color. We got a new jar of dye and the color was not the same. And then I over dyed it with russet, which is why it's very, very close to our russet color. So if you like this, order russet, it will be almost exactly the same. And this is a really quick, easy pattern. It was great. It was perfect for Christmas. It was nice and festive and soft and kept me warm. Yeah, that's all I needed to say about that, I think. Back to acquisitions, because I got a lot. What haven't I showed you? I showed the box that this was in a long time ago. I ordered the New Year's bundle, New Year's celebration bundle. I can't remember what I think it's on here. New Year's Eve 2023 sock set. I don't think that's what she called it in her listing. But anyway, I don't think you can buy them anymore, so it doesn't matter. Brian Dye Works. It was a mystery. It was a collaboration between Brian Dye Works, Ocean Loops, which is Lolly, and Her Leather Co., which is Alyssa. All 3 of whom I have talked about on this podcast before because they're all local and I'm a big fan of every single one of them. So the theme was pink champagne and caviar. So this is the sock set that Charity made. Brian Dye Works is Charity. So this is pink champagne, this is caviar. The yarn is 80% eco-processed organic merino, 20% global standard recycled nylon. So it's a fingering weight sock set, and I actually have a plan in mind for it, which I needed 2 minis for. It's called the Progressions Sideways Shawl, and I'll put a picture of the pattern sample up here. Don't be fooled by the colors in the pattern sample. I don't know, it's not my favorite, but I have made one of these shawls for the shop in different colors, and it's actually it's a quick knit and it's really nice. It's a really nice way to use a sock set, but you do need 2 minis. So you need a sock set that has 2 minis. So I messaged Charity and asked her if I could have another mini. So I went and picked it up from her. I got another mini. So I think that is what that is going to be. These are the absolutely gorgeous stitch markers that Lolly put together for this set. Oh, they're so pretty. They're so my colors. This blushy pink and this crystal and there's pine cone. You can't really tell in there, but this black has like sparkle in it. That's, oh, it's so pretty. Well done, Lolly. And the bag that came with it is this gorgeous little leather yarn bowl from Her Leather Co., which is Alyssa. Again, links will be down below. This is such a fun, it's like, it's a perforated, I don't know if you can see the holes. There you can. And yeah, so that all comes in there. I absolutely loved it. I said I wasn't going to open it until New Year's, and then I went to work the next day and Shelly had hers and it was open, and I was like, I might as well just look. So I've had it open for quite a long time, but I didn't want to spoil it for anybody. So that is what I got. What else have I got? I got a really, really amazing, beautiful gift in the mail from my friend Nicole, who is the Prof Pearl. She recently made this gorgeous colorwork sweater, and she used Moondrake Fua Fua, which is brushed cashmere and merino. My mail carrier just came. It's like fluffy and beautiful, and I've wanted to get some. It's very it's a little expensive, and so Nicole messaged me and asked me for my mailing address because she wanted to send me something, and she mailed me. She ordered from the Knitting Loft to mail to me a skein of Moondrake Fua Fua. Oh God, like, I don't even know if you can see. This is like, it's so fluffy. What is that? It's so fluffy I could die, like from, what's that movie called? Despicable Me. Anyway, it's so, so beautiful. So I need to find something to make with it this year. I think it's considered a fingering weight because it's quite, the fluff is real. The fluff is real. Thank you, Nicole. I absolutely love it. The reason that it's wound up into a cake is because I got really excited when it came, and I was like, I need to use this immediately, and I'm still thinking about what I'm gonna make with it. And I have somehow lost the tag, which I don't usually do. I'm usually pretty good at that. I usually keep the tag with it, and then I put the tag in the jar of tags when I'm done with it. So I'm not sure, but this color is Electric Berry. I do know that. And what else have I got? I also got from my mom. We were packing up to go to a hockey tournament before Christmas, and the toiletry bag that I use for my makeup is a bag that I got from my grandma when she moved out of her apartment. Like, she was living in like a seniors area, like in a townhouse, and she moved out of that into a senior's apartment, like assisted living, where she doesn't have to cook and all that kind of stuff. When she was moving out, she had this like toiletries bag, and I loved it. And it had like, it was sort of like those wire things where you like pull it open and it stays open, and then you push it and it stays closed. And I've had it for so long that the thing doesn't really stay closed anymore, and when I go somewhere, all my makeup dumps out. So I texted my mom and I asked her really, really, really nicely if I could pretty please get her to make me a bag for my makeup, for my travels. We have a lot of travels coming up this year. You'll find out about that later. So she made me this. Can you see that zipper? Holy fuck. It's a rainbow zipper. And of course, the butterflies have skulls. Look at the zipper pulls. They're skulls. She's so fucking good. Ugh. Anyway, look at the inside. Oh my God. I know that Shelly is just gonna be dying right now when she looks at this. Isn't that amazing? So she made me this special, and she brought it when she came for Christmas. And she also brought this other bag, and she was like, I didn't know what size that you wanted. I brought these both and you can just pick one. And I was like, can I have both of them? I am such a little shit. But I also, when I travel, I have my bag like that I put my makeup in, and then I have another bag that I put like whatever, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, like all the other stuff. And it's just like a drawstring black boring bag. And so she let me keep this. Look at, it's got like mesh on the outside, opens up, it's got Velcro. Look at that! It's got pockets on the inside. It's got another zipper on the outside. My mom could make so much money selling all this stuff, but she does it for fun. She does it really, she makes stuff for me. That's why she does it. Just kidding, man. Yeah, so when we went to the cabin, I put all my stuff in here, I put all my makeup in there. It was perfect. I love them so much. Thank you, Mama. I love you. I think that's the end of all my acquisitions. I should probably... Oh, I didn't show you my ocean loops. So this, I got the one with the notions ring because I was getting 24 stitch markers and I needed somewhere to put them. So here, I can't even show you all of them. There's so many pretty ones. This one was my favorite, the snowflake one. And there were some really pretty blue ones, some really pretty pearls. This little one with the snow in it. There's a little teacup. I really like the little pink puff one. I really like them all, let's be honest. They're all beautiful. I love everything that Lolly makes. This one was really cool. It has the bead is hanging off of a triangle instead of a circle. So anyway, well done, Lolly. They're absolutely beautiful. Again, that's Ocean Loops, and she'll be linked below, as always. Okay, I think that's all my making that I have to talk about. Like it's been a while, so sorry about the really long episode. I'm going to talk about some life stuff, so if you were just here for the knitting, then you can sign off, and I won't bore you with the rest of my life. Just kidding. Yeah, so we had our, since the last episode, well, I did an episode and then I did the day in the life one. Anyway, I did that. We went to a hockey tournament. That was fine. A hockey tournament is a hockey tournament. Yeah, and then the kids finished school. We had Christmas. Christmas was fun. Christmas, I mean, it was kind of just a regular Christmas. We hosted my family here on Christmas Day. We always do that. We always do my family on Christmas Day, and we do Dave's family on Boxing Day. We always go to his mom's house for dinner and we go to open presents in the morning, then we come home, and then we go back, get our nice clothes on and go back for dinner. But yeah, so that was good. For Christmas, I was kind of sitting with my kids one day before Christmas, and I was like, so, what'd you guys get me for Christmas? And they were like, so then that kind of got them thinking a little bit that they probably should do something for me for Christmas. So my younger son they both made me Christmas cards. They were like down in my older son's room with the door closed, like doing stuff. And this is what they were doing. So my younger one, this was the inside of his card. This is me, world's best knitter video game. And it says, woohoo, I won, I win. I'm the world's best knitter. And my older son wrote me a comic. It's a Yarny's Adventure. This is Yarny. They're a yarn ball, and they go on an adventure. They come across a bad rock, I think. I think it's, what does it say? Mr. Big Rock. Yeah, that's the bad guy in this scenario. But then Yarny goes and finds some knitting needles and defeats the bad guy with knitting needles. So there you go. He made me a yarn comic book. So that was excellent. I quite enjoyed that. I thought it was quite a good thing for him to come up with when he had nothing. So that's good. So yeah, then after Christmas, we got the hell out of here. We got on an airplane. We went out to the island, to our cabin. We have a cabin out on Vancouver Island, close to Victoria. And yeah, we spent a week there, and it was great. The weather was actually quite nice. It was fairly warm, and it rained a couple times, and it's so nice there in the winter because everything is green because it rains there a lot. Everything was nice and green. Here, everything, if it's not snowing, everything's all brown and gross. So everything was, yeah, green and beautiful, and we just have the most beautiful view from our cabin. And we went on lots of forest walks. We had the bonfire by the beach. I did a lot of knitting in front of the fireplace. It was very cozy. Our cabin is very cozy, especially in the winter, and it's cold outside, and we've got the fire going. We had a little incident on the way down there. My older son was sitting beside me on the airplane on the way down there, and he was wearing, he's into being cool, so he was wearing his hoodie and he was wearing his toque, and he's like, whatever, he's in his cool outfit. But he got really hot on the airplane, and we'd brought some oranges, and he'd had an orange, and then he had orange juice on the airplane, and then he had, I can't remember if he had cookies or pretzels. He had something, one of those things. And then he was just getting hotter and hotter. And just before we were landing, he was like, Mom, my tummy doesn't feel good. I was like, what do you mean? Like, do you need to poop? He's like, no. So you need to puke? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. I had to pull out the puke bag from the seat in front of him, and I had to hold the puke bag while he puked on the airplane as we were landing. I've never actually seen anyone use a puke bag on an airplane before. And not only did I get to hold it for him, I got to carry it off the airplane, and there were no garbages for quite a while after we got off the airplane. We got off, we went through our gate, we went past where everyone waits to get on. Like, it took me a few minutes to find a garbage bag while I was carrying the bag of puke. Anyway, he was fine after that. He rallied. He wasn't sick. He was just like overheated and had too much sugar, I think, and he was just had to get it out of his system. He was totally fine after that. Yeah. So yeah, what else did we do at the cabin? We just did a lot of that. My sister-in-law and her husband and their son were there for a few days while we were there, so our kids got to play with their cousin, which was awesome. Dave and my oldest son did the polar plunge on January 1st. Someone on the island organized everyone to go down to the beach and run into the freezing cold ocean at noon. So they did that, which was quite funny and crazy because it was freezing. Yeah, so that's all that's kind of been that's been going on here. We have a big year coming up. My husband at his work gets a 6-week sabbatical every 5 years that he works there. It is like the most genius employee retention program I've ever heard of, because he gets 6 weeks paid and he has to not be in the office. So we've gone on some pretty epic adventures on his sabbatical years. This year is a sabbatical year. So for his sabbatical in like mid-June to mid-July, we're going to be spending a month in Spain, which is awesome. We love Spain. We've been there a few times. Like I said, my kids are in Spanish school. I speak Spanish. My husband speaks Spanish. So we're going to spend a month in Spain. We're also going to Colombia in, I don't know, spring break, March, I think-ish. Because my husband wants to take my kids to all of the Spanish-speaking countries. So we're checking some off the list. So I think we're going to Colombia at spring break. we also have a trip to San Diego in April, I think, as with Dave's work. He goes on a management executive team trip every year, and this year we're going to San Diego. Last year we went to Chicago. The year before that we went to Louisville to the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, this year we're going to San Diego. So if anyone knows of any good yarn stores in San Diego, hit me up down below. Yeah, I think that's probably enough from me because I have an hour just on this video, and I know there is more of Dave and more of me from before that, so I'm gonna shut the hell up. And Happy New Year. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and comment below if you want to win my Advent leftovers. And don't forget to like and subscribe and do all the things down below because it really helps my videos get seen by lots of other people who like knitting and swearing and things like that. So, okay, I will see you in a few weeks for my 1-year anniversary. Podiversary, baby! Yeah! Bye!